Hello, everybody, and welcome to a live edition of Messi and Co. I am Ashley here, as always, with my incredible co-host Gian. Happy Monday! Happy Monday, Gian. I mean, we're going to
Happy
give a couple
Monday.
moments for people to come, but happy Monday!
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Yeah. It's nice. Nice week ahead of us. A nice long week again. No games in between. So
Yeah,
a nice Inter Miami win. A nice little streak going for us. And some exciting news that I'd like to share about me and the skill set that I have as far as predicting scores
really, it
and that
hasn't
sort of
even
thing.
been
So
1 minute. It's been
no, no,
57 seconds.
I'm just
57 seconds.
I'm foreshadowing about something really important that we have to talk about during this episode. So, but I'm not going to get too into it right now.
Wow,
Let's
you're
see.
just as conceited in the sunshine as you are in your studio.
Yeah. So if you're wondering about what's going on here, um, it's a really nice day out here in Miami. If you're not in Miami today, uh, partly not well, actually not too many clouds, nice blue skies, sun is out, windy, and just beautiful temperature. So I decided, hey, why not? Why not come out here to the backyard and do a little stream out here, and that's why it looks a little different. But yeah,
It looks nice. It
yeah,
looks
and you're
nice.
back in town, right?
Yes, I am. I'm back in town. I thank you guys for bearing with us. I know we didn't do our normal post game live stream on Saturday. We couldn't make it. I was out of town. But
Gian Stratamus.
just what we need. Like as if you aren't egotistical enough, we have to deal with this. But no, I was out of town, but I was at, honestly, this is a true story. I was at a family dinner and I just kept looking at my phone to see the scores and the highlights and all this stuff. And my uncle was yelling at me. He's like, "Get off your phone." I'm like, "You understand. I have a podcast called Messi and Co. And, and Messi scored a brace. And so I need to look at it." But it was a great game that I did end up getting watching and getting the highlights for, and we have a lot to talk about. But yeah, it's a good time to be an Inter Miami fan and a great time to be a Messi fan, would you say?
I mean, it's always been a great time to be a Messi fan, and it's a great time to be a Inter Miami slash Messi fan because you've got the greatest in the world here putting on a show every weekend when he's available. And I think that everything that you thought Messi was going to be when you brought him in, he's done that and surpassed it. And it's just exciting. It's just crazy. I mean, every week we're seeing assists, we're seeing uh golazos, and I think that he's breaking records now, if I'm not mistaken, for goal contributions. Like
Breaking
it's just
crazy records.
yeah, it's insane. I mean, it's just exciting, really exciting. And I'm sure everybody here in chat that you guys are following us, Black Story, Steve, all you guys, I'm sure you're having the same experiences, right? Just enjoying this great time. You know what this feels like, Ashley? Like for those of you that are here in Miami, or I mean, if you followed the NBA, for example, in Miami, there was this period from 2010 to 2014 when we had LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and we were on top of the world. Like everybody, the media, everybody was here focused on Miami. We even had our own page on ESPN strictly focused on Miami stuff. It was called I think it was called the Heat Meter or something like that. So I hadn't, since 2014 here in sports in Miami, I hadn't felt, and I don't think we've ever felt something quite like that until this
Yeah.
moment where Messi has joined Inter Miami, and it feels like the whole world is like just watching us. We're on the pinnacle of sports right now. So it's a cool feeling to have. So I would say if you're an Inter Miami fan and a Messi fan and you're Miami, just enjoy the moment, because these moments you're not guaranteed them, and just just enjoy them while they're here.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I mean, look, fine. I'm no coward. I will admit the comments. You did say 4-1, Gian Stradamus. Yes, Gian is right for the third week in a row in his score predictions. But does he
Wait, there's no
deserve
buts. What
praise?
do you
No.
mean? Wait, what do you mean, but? What are you gonna say?
Does he deserve praise? No. No, I'm kidding. But like I said in the stream, I couldn't be happier that you were right, because it means that we're winning, and we're winning by large margins. But what we're gonna do before I say but is that we're going to recap the game on Saturday, right? Where it was Inter Miami versus New England Revolution. We ended up winning the game 4-1. But we experienced something that we have become all too familiar with, and that is an early goal by the opposition. AJ says here. This was even earlier than expected. I mean, we said that
Hey, we're breaking
I used to say,
records.
in the first 10 minutes, I don't want the opponent to score. In the first 5 minutes against Nashville, I didn't want the opponent to score. In the first 1 minute against New England Revolution, they scored, and although we are able to overcome it and have a great team and a great lineup, and we have Messi and we have all of these incredible players who come in and did a really good job. Robert Taylor came back, obviously got an assist. We saw, like I said, Messi got the brace. We saw a great goal by Suarez. We saw incredible second half play from Benjamin Kramaski. We're going through a little bit of an issue, though, when it comes to the start of the games with Drake, I think, and the defense too. I mean, last week, Negri made a mistake that you don't expect him to make very often, but we're seeing some unnerving moments, and it's something to be a little bit concerned about, because Drake, who I think from minute 2 to 90 plays fantastic. The early minutes of the game, same with Freire, who made the bad pass and started the turnover. What are we going to do about this sort of beginning of the games where we're finding these issues that are causing Inter Miami to fall behind?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not a way you want to start the game off. It completely throws you off rhythm. Just luckily enough for Miami, they've got players that can just put the team on their backs and kind of get over those humps. But I mean, it's not something you want as a team. I believe last 3 games, minute 6, minute 2, minute 1. Like, what's next? I mean, are we just going to start the game?
We're going to start the game 1-0.
1-0, yeah.
Like losing down by 1.
No, it's nuts. It's nuts. And then, Calendar's been one of I think the top goalkeepers for a bit, top 10 at least in MLS. And then just to see some silly mistakes here and there. This last one where there was zero reason for him to close out that far out. There's no need. I believe there was like 2 defenders on that were already on the attacker. There was no need to do that. And those are kind of lapses in judgment that aren't necessarily something that we're accustomed to with Calendar, but they've been things that have happened over the last few games that I wouldn't say there's cause for concern yet. Yeah. But it's something that I think you want to see cleaned up as the season goes along. You don't want that to continue to linger on. And I'm sure that he, as a professional, has already noticed there are things that he needs to clean up. I'm sure that Tata Martino, the goalkeeper coaches, those are things that they've brought to his attention. And I just hope that as we get more games and as the season moves along, we won't tend to see those sorts of things. But it is pretty deflating to start a game like that, man. Like, and it's got to be annoying. 3 games in a row. Believe me, if we're talking about it, it's been talked about in the locker room. There's no chance that hasn't already been talked about. But weirdly enough, like, even though we've gone scored on right away, it's like, oh, here we go again. But I honestly had no doubt that we were going to win. I was like, okay, there's the 1 goal that we give away. And then, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it just sucks. I don't like it.
I agree with you. And I think, honestly, more than anything, it reflects poorly on what has been really such an improvement in this defense, even just from like last month to this month. I am not feeling nervous when it's especially in the second half. The first half, I'm like, these guys need to shake their nerves. Like, I'm not feeling super confident in the beginning of every single game, because in the last 3 games I have good reason for it, but in the second halves I haven't been nervous at all. I think that our defense has improved vastly. I think that Freire, Cielo, and Aviles have created a fantastic partnership, and it had been Alba too, but obviously Negri's had to come in, who's been doing a very good job, and Negri is every game becoming more and more sort of in tune with the squad. And I think also shout out to him, because he was took a year to get better from his ACL injury, and it's a difficult road back, and he did he's playing like he really hasn't missed time, and especially not a year. And so happy for him to see what he's been
Look,
able
this
to
defense
do.
is doing better. I mean, the
Much
difference
better.
is much better. They've allowed in the last 2 games. They've allowed two goals, one of which was an own goal. I mean, it's still a goal, but defense, it's. I think they're doing better. And then even the game before that, it was 2 against Sporting KC. I think that as long as
AKA, never forget.
yeah, AK, as long as they're able to stop those early goals, I think they'll do a lot better because most of these goals, again, in the last 3 games, 4 goals. 3 of those 4 goals were in the first 6 minutes.
Yeah.
If they clean that up, it's literally a lack of concentration. It's just going out, starting the game, and just not being in rhythm, and that's what's really messing with them. If they can lock it in the first 6 minutes, we might start to get we might start to shut out teams. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing every stage of the game is becoming stronger and stronger. Like to your point, something that we kind of worried about in the beginning a little was like, why aren't we scoring enough goals? We have the greatest player of all time, and we had one of the greatest goal scorers of all time in Luis Suarez. And in the beginning, it was a little choppy, but they certainly have made up for it. Now it's to your point. I'm not worried about if we're scoring 1 goal. I'm wondering if we're scoring 3, 4, 5, or 6, and so that's a great problem to have.
Yeah. What's up, Daniel?
Yeah, and here's another shout out to your outdoor background, which I agree does look very nice. I mean, I was the one who had a different background during our preview show, and of course, like always, you're trying to upstage me. So whatever. Do we miss the AKA defense Black Story where it was Aviles, Christoph, and Allen, right? Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Don't miss the back 3. Can't say I do. But
you will never see that again, I think, ever in your
never
entire
say
life.
never. Never say never. But I agree. I think it's very unlikely, especially with Cello, who has just been outstanding. There's really nothing else you can say. I mean, yeah, every minute isn't perfect for any player, but he has been an outstanding right back and has done a very good job of replacing DeAndre Yedlin. And I think even sometimes doing better play than him in that final third. So been incredibly happy with him. But, I think we've made it 12 and a half minutes without just talking about him. And I think it's about time we just talk about the greatest player to ever play the game, who scored a brace, 2 more goals, and an assist, now has in 7 games 16 goal contributions, the fastest and largest ever to do in MLS. Just Lionel Messi is playing insane. He's playing insane, and it's not a surprise, but at the same time, I'm still watching it, and I'm thinking to myself, he's a man on a mission, and he really doesn't have to be. I mean, he, like we said, he's won everything, and he of course is respectful of his contract, of the fans of Inter Miami, and he's gonna always play hard. But he's still, in my opinion, he's playing like super hard. Like he's playing at a level that I didn't necessarily think was like, I didn't maybe expect it to be this early in the season, or maybe it's just who he is always, but he's just playing just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, he's competitive. What can you expect? The guy that's really competitive, he's going to give it his best no matter what he's doing, and he's happy doing it. He's having fun.
Yeah.
You can see it on the pitch. You can see
Seems
how
like he's having a lot of fun.
like
Yeah.
it's not even like this one. I forgot which one. Was it his first or his second goal? It might be the second one, possibly, where he scores, and then it's like he has like this childish smile. It's so funny. Like he's genuinely having fun with his friends, with Busquets, with Suarez on the pitch. And he said it himself, like the day that he feels like he just doesn't have the fire to want to play, he'll leave and he'll retire. So for him to be playing now, it's because he wants to win. He wants to come into MLS. Imagine he's the best player in the world. He won it all at Barca. He wins the World Cup. You think he wants to win the World Cup, then come to MLS and not win the MLS Cup, not win Supporters Shield? Like, no, he wants to come here and say, hey, I just won the World Cup, and then I'm going to come here to MLS, and I'm going to show you what it is to be a top player, and I'm going to win everything. And that's what he's doing. He's doing that.
No, I know.
It's like he's breaking records, and he hasn't played every game. He's missed games.
It surprises me in a really positive way. Not because I ever doubted him, but I think it's still one of those things. Like every game you watch it, I'm just like, wow, can't believe this player plays for my team. And I think you made a really, really good point that while to be fair, he has been really great with all of his teammates. And, we've seen, obviously, we've heard stories about, like, Gressle said at the beginning of the season, he sometimes whispers funny things to him in English and making, surprise Gressle that he can speak some English and communicate. And he's smiling and is teaching the young players. I think he has a good relationship. He had a great relationship with Gomez, with Kremaski, etc. Always happy for them. But there's something to be said about the fact that at 36 years old, after winning everything, he gets to spend every single day with three of his best friends from, his whole entire playing career. And obviously Alba has been injured and so hasn't been doing the exact same thing as normal. But Busquets and Suarez, he's playing every single day with, he's training with them, he's playing in the games with them. They're assisting and scoring for each other. And it's really, it's really great to see because it's having such a positive impact on
Not to,
everyone else.
not to mention the team is literally catering to him and
Yeah.
to his lifestyle, to what they're trying to make this time the most enjoyable for him. I don't know if I've ever seen a team do, if you guys have in chat, maybe remind us, but I don't think I've seen another team cater so much to a player where they're trying to make the environment around them as as appealing as possible and making it something that where they feel like familiar. I mean, they're bringing in
Yeah.
all these Argentinian players
Yeah.
specifically for Messi. If Messi wasn't here, I don't think we'd have the amount of Argentine players that we have right now in our roster. They go out and they do things like getting a Argentinian barbecue style grill and grilling,
Yeah.
odd training, the type of meals that Messi was used to as growing up as an Argentine family, and probably doing the same in Spain. Like, they're catering to him and making sure that he's enjoying his time here. And I think that that's also something that's led to his just, I think, the happiness that he exudes, and overall the team. It's not just Messi, but the entire team feels like a family. They feel like they're getting together. They feel
Yeah.
like they're having fun. So
And they know the
overall,
spotlight is on them. They know the world is
yeah,
still watching. Obviously MLS is not the same level as La Liga or Premier League, etc. But it's still, the whole world is watching every game. It's on Apple TV. 150 plus countries watching, and I think everyone's done a really great job of to your point, reacting to it and enjoying it, and making the most of it. And we're seeing players really raise their game. I mean, Robert Taylor, who's back after injury, out for a couple weeks, I would say wasn't having maybe his best games before when Messi was injured and out, got hurt and had to be out, but played a fantastic assist to Messi in this game, was
yep.
incredibly active, looked like he needed he was excited to be back and wanted to keep, cementing his place in the starting lineup and keeping there. Kremaski, who came into the second half, yeah, he's pretty good for 19 years old or 20 years old. He's pretty freaking good. And I mean, he obviously was out at the beginning with a hernia injury.
Interesting that you bring him up with what they're talking about in the chat.
I know
right
in
now.
the chat, and I'm going to bring that up in a second because it's a good segue. But and that was going to be my segue, is that Kremaski, who just made he got a goal off of a Messi deflection. He did an insane pass with the back heel of his foot that I don't 100% know if it was on purpose. It kind of looks like it was on purpose. If it was on purpose, then he's alien-like, or it was a really happy accident. But regardless, excellent pass. And starting to ask the question, is he going to reinsert himself in the starting lineup now that he seems to be fully fit from injury? Obviously, towards the end of last MLS season, him and Messi was developing great chemistry. It makes me think of that goal at Red Bulls when it was just that insane pass by Messi.
That is still I still see that
That
on
was still
on
is
the
an
Twitter
insane. I
timelines.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
like when he passed it with 7 defenders, wasn't even
yeah.
looking, but Kremaski knew to make the run, like, creating great chemistry. If he were to come in and play, who is he going to play for? And I'm going to bring up a comment here that I saw that kind of started the conversation, which was by AJ, about Julian Gressle, saying that Julian Gressle has not been necessarily effective and doesn't understand why Tata is starting him. Has had made a big difference 15 minutes, and maybe with Gressel we haven't been seeing it as much. It's an interesting point. We've talked about Julian Gressel a lot on this show, and especially when Messi wasn't playing and Gressel had to kind of take on more roles. where's Gressle? Where's Gressle right now? Because to Fabian's point, sorry, I'm not sure exactly how you say it. Tata does really like playing Julian Gressel, and to Lewis's point, kind of going through all the chats here, Gressel provides that MLS experience, and he does have great kind of veteran play, good energy, good collaboration. But is he making the most of his moments? And that's what we got to figure out. So that's my question to you, Gian. Do you think Gressel's going to keep his place in the starting lineup? Would you want him to?
So I'm ready to get roasted for what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Bring it on, chat.
Yeah, roast him, not me.
You can roast me for this. So look, yeah, Gressel right now is in good favor with Tata Martino. That Gressel, what he does, he's consistent. He brings a sense of security that he's going to do what he's asked to do. I think that sometimes what you expect him to do is not what his job is, right? That's not what Tata's expecting him to do. He's not going to be Kremaski where he's going to have, a huge part of the offense, or where he's going to be in places to score like Kremaski was off of that rebound where he was in a place to score. He's not going to be the guy that's going to put some really great passes like you saw Kremaski do at times, especially last season when he was playing on the pitch with Messi. Gressel's going to be the guy that's going to make sure that he solidifies that midfield along with Gomez, Busquets, Redondo. He's gonna do good defensively. He's going to be a guy that can out of nowhere come up with a crazy cross, because we've seen that. Like you can criticize him. Ashley and I have criticized him. Yeah, Ashley and I have criticized him, but I think along with criticism, you can also point out some of the things that he does good. Out of nowhere, he'll just come out with insane crosses. And I think that he's just a security blanket for Tata, knowing like, okay, he's not going to maybe come out with the most amazing play. He's not going to take 1, 2, 3 defenders and put the most beautiful pass, but he's going to be a guy that you can depend on to be there in the midfield and not make
crazy mistakes.
Yeah, he's not going to make crazy mistakes. And that's why he's there, because of what was mentioned by, was it Fabian in the chat too, and that you mentioned, Ashley, experience. He's an experienced guy. Now, if you're going to ask me, do I want Kremaski to come in and take his place? I could see that. I think that you'll get more out of the offense with Kremaski in there. But do you think Kremaski is going to give you the same level of security in the midfield? Or is he going to push too high up? Because Kremaski to me is not a guy that is going to be effective if he's just kind of just lingering around in the midfield. He's going to be a guy that pushes up and is part of the offense. So, yeah, I would like to see Kremaski in there, but I also want to see what Kremaski looks like now in this new team. He's been injured for a long time. What's he going to look like with Messi, with Suarez, with Robert Taylor on the left wing, or with Matias Rojas? What's he going to look like when Redondo, Busquets are in there? I think he would look better with Redondo and Busquets, simply because Redondo and Busquets are going to be a bit more defensive, and then that'll allow Kremaski to push up forward, and you still have that security in the midfield. So that's kind of why Gressle is in there. I mean, it is what it is. We've criticized him. He's made some mistakes, but so have other players on the team. Gomez, if we just went off of Gomez's mistakes, you wouldn't want him to be starting either. And he's one of our midfielders, because Gomez has made big time mistakes that have led to goals. So you got to look at both sides, I think.
It's true. And I think Sounds made a couple good points, but this is a good one where it says he's not there to take risks or to be creative. He's there just, to your point, to do a job. And I think with this team, where we've seen a couple issues is that sometimes, players try to do that hero ball, and especially when Messi isn't playing, but sometimes when Messi is playing, and, it leads to too much danger, and it leads to, conceding a goal. So I think what we will see, especially as we get closer and closer to Copa America, is we are going to start, I think, seeing a couple rotations when it comes to the midfield pieces. Like, I think, with Gomez out, I don't know if Robert Taylor is going to play 90 minutes of every single game on the left wing. And sometimes when he doesn't, what could we see maybe where it's a 4-4-2? And in that situation, it's obviously Messi and Suarez up front. And maybe in the midfield, you're able to do Busquets, maybe Ruiz, Gressel, and Kremaski, like, situations where you can play both of them at the same time and then have two sort of defensive midfielders. Like, could you maybe see that happening? Where is Rojas going to be starting every single game? I want to mention his contribution to
I
the
think
game
we're gonna
too.
see that. I think that we're gonna see Matias Rojas take Robert Taylor's starting position, at least at the beginning, and I think Tata's gonna test that out and see if he likes it. That's what I think. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
Matias
and
Rojas.
if we do that, like, I think that, and we've talked about this a couple times again, that with Gressle, Ruiz, and Kremaski, I think the three of them, can consistently be in rotation for
Yeah,
those two midfield positions. Like
100%.
where you like we can see a little bit of both. So there's still time. I think Gressel, I agree. I think he deserves a little bit of rest, and hasn't necessarily played to a position where I think he like demands to start every single game, where you just like can't drop him. I think he could potentially be dropped, but also to your point, it's not like I'm mad when he plays. He does his job well, and
Yeah.
sometimes in a team like this, when you have Messi and Suarez and etc., you need players to just play their role.
How
So
did you
that's
feel about Matias Rojas? So, because
so
I
that's
liked
what I
what
was
I
about to
saw.
bring up. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't able to watch every single minute of the game. I was watching. I had it on my phone, but I didn't. I was mainly focused on kind of like highlights and checking every couple seconds. I was happy when he came on, and it's obvious to say his effort certainly paid off, because the fact that he had chased the
That was
second
nuts. That chase. That was
the
good.
chase he did and keeping the ball in bounds is what led to Messi's second goal, right?
It was a beautiful
So,
pass too.
or not
The
Messi's, it was
recovery and
Kremaski's goal. It was
it was
Kremaski's
Keremaski,
goal.
but Messi almost scored it.
Yeah,
It was a beautiful pass to Messi, picture perfect as pass for an assist. But Messi, that was a huge save by the goalkeeper. But Matias Rojas did good in the few minutes I think that he got.
agreed. Yeah, he didn't. It's not like he played. What was it? 20 minutes, right? He came in around the
Yeah,
70th minute, I think. I think exactly to your point. He hasn't played in a while. He obviously was having contract issues with Corinthians. Didn't play great for them, but has had a lot of talent and pedigree. And he came to this team with everyone knowing he was going to have to come in and immediately make an impact, and he did.
yeah,
He immediately made an impact to the goal contribution. I think he still needs to get a little bit of the rest off, but yeah, I think there's no reason for him not to start on Saturday against the Red Bulls in what is going to be, in my opinion, a very, very, very difficult
yeah,
game. Uh,
yeah. That
so
Rojas pass was
so
so good, man.
so good,
I
and
rated it.
the effort was so good. I agree that I think he will probably get the nod over Robert Taylor.
Yeah, I want to ask you guys in chat. So if you had to pick right now, I know it's limited too. You saw 20 minutes of Rojas, but I don't know if you also saw maybe some of his games when he played in Argentina. Would you start go? No, yeah. Would you start Robert Taylor or Matias Rojas, or is it too
It's a
soon,
good question,
guys?
because Robert Taylor got an assist. He played a
Yeah,
good. He didn't do anything to not
yeah,
earn
I
a
love
start.
Robert Taylor. I think he's one of the few that has that skill set other than what's our youngster is it Casas?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We don't have too many. We don't have wings really, speedy
Right.
wings. So Robert Taylor's got a skill set that's really important for us. Robert
And
Taylor
also,
always
where does oh my god,
Rojas.
I'm blanking on his name. Who our young left Brazilian who's played the last couple games.
Oh, bro, I
You
cannot
forgot his
believe
name
I'm
too.
forgetting that. I
I'm
can't believe
totally
I'm forgetting it
blanking.
too.
Chat, let us know what is his name. He just scored too. And
Alfonso. Yeah,
Alfonso,
there you
thank you. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was completely blanking on it. But what about Alfonso's starting role? Because he played very well too, and he deserves minutes. Is he's now obviously, I guess, the third
He's
choice.
too
But are
young
there?
though. He's
He's
too young.
young, but
He's
he was
done
good.
amazing. But
I was impressed.
yeah, but I think we have to remember. I think that we're so used to seeing these youngsters play for
Yeah,
Inter Miami that we forget that one of the biggest reasons they even got minutes to start was because of the injuries that we had
yeah,
last season. And I think that if Robert Taylor's available and now you have Matias Rojas, I think Afonso becomes like the third guy
yeah.
on
And look,
as far as that's concerned.
when Messi goes to Copa America, one, I don't know if Robert Taylor is going to the Euros or not. And if he is there, maybe Robert Taylor may move to the right and you see where it would become
which he's
Rojas.
done before. We've seen that
Exactly,
before
where
too.
then
So.
it becomes, Rojas and Alfonso. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's there's definitely going to be some rotation there. Another person I want to talk about because we'll have to wait and see with Matias Rojas if how much action he gets. To your point, I think I don't 1,000% know if he's going to start on Saturday. I think he probably will. If Robert Taylor starts, I wouldn't be like the most shocked person in the world. I would understand it. But someone who we know is not going to start unless there is maybe potentially injury, is Lionel Campana, who did not have a great game and who has, unfortunately due to injury and due to just having one of the greatest number 9s of all time ahead of you, has become very limited in his game time and has not really had the opportunity to shine. And so you see a couple comments about Campana. He's been off. He hasn't been playing well. Hasn't been making good decisions. And I don't disagree. But my question to you is this: how do we get him out of that funk? Because Luis Suarez can play 90 minutes of every single game, turf or not turf. Obviously none of us were really surprised that he didn't play. I know you had him in his predicted lineup, but we said we would not be surprised if he didn't start. I was surprised he came in for 30 minutes, to be completely honest with you. But, knock on wood, it went well. And same with Messi. But what is the solution with Campana? Because once again, Copa America coming up, a lot of games coming up. There are going to be rotations, and Campana is going to have to play, and he's going to have to contribute. So how do you see that happening? Oh, right. Robert Taylor, I forgot Finland didn't qualify for the Euros. You're right. So he is going to be here. So I apologize. But Campana, how are you seeing him?
All right. So Campana hasn't scored since March 16th, where he had that goal against DC United. So it's definitely been a while since he scored. He's also been very limited with minutes. He played last game. He played 63 minutes. The game before, he played 42 minutes. Then he had 2 games where he had no appearance, I think, because he was injured. I think with Campana, it'll be interesting because I obviously think he's a good player. He's shown that he can score. He scored some golazos.
Yeah.
But I think it's different as well because of the way he plays. Like Suarez stays up. He's just up there. Campana plays a lot more, trying to, help on defense, trying to help pressure. A lot of times I'm looking at Campana and he's not necessarily in the best place to score. And I think that I think part of that is with him making sure that he finds a good balance between helping defensively and dropping into the midfield to help on certain occasions, and making sure that he's also ready to receive a ball, whether it's in the area or right side of the area. I think that that's one of the things that he's lacked in those recent games, is just being in the right spots. But also being in the right spots is 50% his job. The other 50% is Tata's job. And I don't know if Tata necessarily has maybe game planned around him. There's certain players like Suarez that I don't know how much you game plan with him. He's gonna figure it out. He's one of the best 9s in the history of soccer. But with other guys, you need to put them in the right positions. And I think 50% of that is on Tata. I don't know if they've used them necessarily properly, because I haven't seen. Have you seen Campana miss a lot of goals? I haven't seen him miss a lot of goals. I feel like he hasn't gotten a lot of chances.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten a lot of chances. Not to mention, if you look at some of these recent games with Campana, the entire team has struggled, not just him. It's just so, at least during the minutes that he's played, he played 42 minutes, 42 minutes against Columbus, I think it was. Those 42 minutes, Inter Miami struggled as a team. First 63 minutes, they got scored on within the first 2 minutes. And as the game went along, they started to find their rhythm and they started to get better. And I just feel like, I don't know if it's a coincidence. I don't think so, but I feel like Campana has gotten those minutes where Inter Miami as a whole, as a team, is just struggling. And it just so happens that he gets out, and that's where they finally, like, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Inter Miami tends to be a team that as the game goes along, they get better. They get better. So
I'm sorry, I have to show this comment. This is an amazing comment. He played good versus DC, but that was a Messi hair tax. That is so true.
We actually talked about that.
He should go back to the Messi hair. It's like so gorgeous. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about is on the field performance. And I agree with what you said. It's I think it's like both things. I think one is he's just like a step different. Maybe it's because of the injury. Maybe it's because of the lack of confidence with the minutes. He doesn't seem to be trying, or not trying, but like getting to those creative moments that you would like him to. Part of it is kind of the way Inter Miami play when he's playing. I do think, hopefully, when Messi's at Copa America, I do maybe think we'll see a couple more scenarios where you see both Campana and Suarez playing at the same time. Not for 90 minutes or anything like that, but I think in second halves of games we'll see a little bit more of that, which will be fun, and I think it will be good for Campana. And it'll be interesting. We can only look one game at a time. He's Campana, to your point, has made great goals. He has played well. He's learned a lot from Gonzalo before him and Joseph Martinez last year, and now Suarez. So the hope is he stays healthy so he can stay consistent and he can maximize his opportunities.
Yeah, and I think we've only seen Campana and Suarez once this season together, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And I can't remember if they started together or I think it was a sub. I think Campana got subbed in and they were able to play together at the same time. But
yeah, so we'll see. And he's going to be one of the many players who's going to have to try and step up and keep us at, which is the next subject, number 1 in MLS. Still number 1 in the Eastern Division, creating some real separation from teams like New York Red Bulls and Columbus Crew. New York Red Bulls, who we face on Saturday, and who the last time we played them, we got our butts handed to us. Again, that was obviously without Messi and had a couple caveats, but nonetheless, a game that is incredibly important. And like you said, a 6-point swing. If we win it, puts even more separation. And we saw a couple reports today who said Messi's goal, which is obviously something, we could have put, 2 and 2 together, is that wants to try and help the team be as dominant as possible and create as much separation as possible, because like anything else in the world, when you lose the best player you have and the greatest player of all time, there will be a dip in performance. There will. And maybe hopefully we continue to play well, and hopefully the team, the rotations, the depth, everything works out to our advantage. But I imagine there will be a few points dropped here and there during that break. And so the more separation we can get, the better, to not only, hopefully win the Supporter Shield, but to win MLS in general and put ourselves in pole position for these playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, this team is really they started off very well. They had, I believe, we had 2 wins, 1 tie throughout. And then, give me a second though. My dog is barking. I'm gonna let my dog out. So
okay, you go ahead. See, the outdoors. Maybe you're just a pretty view. Okay, I can talk while we're waiting. I will say this though. Black Story, Gian, check this prediction versus Red Bull. Messi will score 2 free kicks. Don't tell him that, because I don't want him to get another prediction right. We'll keep that prediction between you and I.
But no. So what I was just saying is that this team started off pretty well. Then we saw again some changes that were done personnel wise. We saw some injuries and that sort of thing. But then this team, as of late, has really found its footing, has played amazing. We've actually been able to create some separation finally in the table. We've got 3 points difference between us and Cincinnati. We have 21 points. They have 18 points. And then New York Red Bulls, who whooped our butts by 4-0, have 17 points.
4-1.
No, it's 4-0. We didn't score.
Didn't Noel score? Oh, no, it was ruled out. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so they beat us 4-0. And like you said, now with an opportunity to kind of go in there and get our revenge, because I mean, this is not just any game. These people whoop their butts. Like, you need to go in there and show them who the best team in MLS is, why we're number 1 right now. It's not just because of that extra match that we played. It's because we are the best team, because we have Messi, because we have Suarez, because we've got all these really good young players. I think that Messi's going to go in there and he's going to want to prove a point and say, hey, nobody beats me 4-0, and then is going to leave with bragging rights. We're going to come here and score the same 4-0 that you scored on us. And they've shown that they are a top goal scoring team. They have 26 goals in the league, the best scoring team in MLS.
10 goal difference.
10 goal difference. They scored 4 goals, 3 goals. How many goals have they scored in the past 3 matches? I don't
So
know. I don't have it
3
here with
against
me.
Nashville, 4 against New England, and then uh who
Let's
did we
see
play
here.
before that?
New England, Nashville was 3, and then right before that we played against Sporting KC where we scored 3. So
Yes.
we've got 10 goals
And
in
that
the
was a
last
Messi
3 matches.
golazo. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what type of Messi we're gonna get? We're gonna get that Messi that you saw, that really pissed off Messi against Orlando City, that first game where he was wanting to fight with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of Messi I think that we're gonna get against New
New
York.
York.
He's gonna
Yeah, and
go in there with a
it's gonna be
vengeance.
it's a difficult game, but it's an important game.
It's a really important game. Yeah, 100%. And then I think that because who else in second place? I think is Cincinnati.
Me
So
too, AJ.
or Cincinnati actually plays Orlando City. So I was hoping that Cincinnati would be playing somebody tough, and maybe that would help us as well. That could be a great match day for us, beating New York and then Cincinnati losing. But I don't think they're going to lose against Orlando City. But
Probably
yeah, man.
not.
But Inter Miami is just balling out right now, and they got to continue that. They got to
And they've been
continue.
great team goals too. And I mean, to newcomer though, I agree. It would be nice to get a Messi free kick. I mean, Kansas City was a golazo, but maybe we will see one.
Which actually today, it's funny you mentioned free kicks. With Messi, I think since Messi today, Lewandowski scored a free kick for Barcelona,
Mm-hmm.
and Barcelona since Messi left had only scored. This was only their second free kick that they had
Really,
scored since Messi left Barcelona. You're talking about what, like
2021.
yeah, something like 3-4 years. That's insane.
Who was the other one?
I believe it might have been. Was it? Might have been Fermin or something. Not Fermin. I don't know. Somebody else, but
Okay, that's
whatever.
not important. But
But
yeah,
yeah, so the point is that you just that since you had
Rafinha. It was
mentioned that, yeah.
Rafinha.
Oh, Rafinha. Okay,
Hmm.
thank you, Blacks. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that would be a good goal. I do this is another comment I wanted to bring up. Gomez and Redondo. Part of the, what we're hoping is going to happen is when Messi goes to Copa America, is it will be in the same time that we start to get some of these big players back. Gomez is going to be a little longer, but Redondo, I think at this point, what was his announcement? 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago?
Yeah,
He's probably 3 or 4 weeks away. Like probably he's going to come back around the same time Messi leaves. And Gomez too,
he
obviously
should be
making his
back
way back.
soon. He posted on socials a little like a little battery being
Yeah,
energized with a little. I felt like it meant that he was going to be
coming back
sometime soon.
soon.
So yeah, so hopefully within the next few weeks we'll see him. One of the most important pieces on this team.
Yeah, exactly. And with I think we'll be able to see him play. We'll obviously see Rojas play. Kremaski will, I think, continue to play really good minutes, and Robert Taylor hopefully stays healthy. All of those things mean that there isn't a reason why we should have a drastic dip in form. Like I said, if we drop some points here and there, I understand it. And that's why it is so important that we continue right now to just keep destroying everyone in our path and
Yeah,
create that separation and give the people what they want. I mean, Inter Miami, they're playing really good soccer right now. It's cohesive, it's strong. Yes, we talked about those, initial defensive lapses that have happening, a little bit of lack of concentration that we hope continues to get fixed. But I still
and
think Drake Callender is one of the best goalkeepers in MLS. I really
yeah.
do. In terms of shot stopper, I think he's one of the best shot stoppers. I think in terms of his overall cerebral game and age, there's definitely things he can improve on. But in terms of just pure shot blocking, he's very, very good at it. Freire, Wengat, Aviles, Negri / Alba, all playing really well.
I would love to see Weingart used more on offense. I think that that first game that he played, we saw a lot of that where he was going up a
Implemented
lot
it.
on the wing, and but I feel like we haven't seen that as much. So I'd like to see maybe Tata use that a bit more. He tends to like to attack more on the left side. He's used Negri a lot, obviously Alba, but
Mhm.
with Chelo we haven't seen that much. And there are a lot of times where Chelo
Yeah.
rises on that right side. But for some reason, I don't know what the
I think it's
disconnect
because
there. But
Gressle's been really monopolizing the space.
could be. But I mean, I'm still he rises sometimes on that right side. He just doesn't get the ball. They'll look at you.
Yeah.
Literally see Aviles or Freire or whoever look at him and they don't give him the ball. So I'd like to see some more of that. But yeah, Inter Miami is just doing really good right now, and I think that we sometimes have these, as we talk about like predictions and we talk about who are starting lineups, who we think they might be. Right now, you said it best. Right now, you have to take advantage. And I think
Yeah.
that every game, you need to put the best team out there. None of this resting players, none of that.
Hmm.
Right now, you don't have any midweek games. You don't have Leagues Cup right now. It'll be soon. You don't have Conca Champions. You play the best 11 that you can on the field. You're not worried about injuries right now. I think and especially knowing that you want to get as many points as you can with Messi right now until he goes to Copa America.
Yeah, I mean, we have Montreal, Orlando, and DC as our next, and obviously Red Bulls is our next game, and all of those teams except for DC's in eighth, but the other two teams are below the playoff line. So to your point, of the next four games, when we know we still have Messi, can we get all 12 points? Can we keep moving that goal differential? Hopefully. Big hug to Italy. Thank you very much. I love Italy. So yeah, and then back to is I imagine Messi starts. I hope so, because I think we talked about it a lot. Gressle has been consistent. He hasn't done anything world beating, hasn't done any dreadful mistake. He's been decent. And but Crema is more than that. Crema is great and has a lot of opportunity, but is still coming back from injury, so maybe they're taking it slow, knowing they're going to ramp it up. We'll have to see. There's not too much to complain about, and that's a great problem to have when it comes to your
Yeah.
favorite sports team.
Yeah, this team is firing on all cylinders right now. It's the best form this team has been in ever.
Ever.
This team is in perfect form. Yeah, we're dealing with some injuries, and it sucks, but it's just, I mean, just think about it. This team right now, without, imagine when Gomez comes back. Imagine when Redondo comes back. Imagine when Matías Rojas gets fully integrated into the team and he starts balling out as well. I mean, this team is right now, just enjoy it, and this team is just going to continue to get better as the season goes by.
And we didn't even talk about Busquets, who did that insane pass for that goal.
Oh, dude,
Busquets
that
had a
was
great game.
insane. That assist was crazy.
When you
And
get good, Busquets has been in pretty good form the last couple of weeks. Like we said, he had a slow start to the season, but you're starting to see the connections come back and the conducting coming back. And yeah, that was just like a eyes in the back of your head play. That's one of the best number 5, 6s to ever play.
And Messi, look, that pass was crazy. I've seen other people on offense get offside on that pass. Like Messi's timing and the connection between him and Busquets was crazy, because
3 layers. It made it through 3 layers before
it was like a millimeter from being offside. Like just the timing between those two, it just shows how well they know each other. That's insane. It was such a beautiful goal. Such a beautiful goal. And the way not only the pass, but the definition, like him choosing to place it on the right side. It was just a beautiful goal all around, and it's what you expect from Messi. 2 goals, 1 assist, just insane.
And that's another point, Red Bull, or not Red Bull, sorry, the Revolution, they sold out the Gillette Stadium in Boston, and it was, their biggest crowd they've ever had for their game. And Messi, just like he did in Kansas City, is putting on absolute shows and spectacles, and he's giving MLS and Inter Miami everything they wanted. And it's really great because, obviously they're investing a lot in it, and he's delivering, and he's giving fans, and he's creating more excitement for soccer in different communities. He's bringing fans from around the world. He's adding so much dimension and excitement. I think it's great. And the more, the pass from Busquets to Messi, I think, was very indicative of the kind of play we're seeing from Inter Miami right now. And it's great, and we should enjoy it while we have it. And, not saying that is like a foreboding, but just because obviously only a couple of years probably left of it. And we're very lucky to get to see it.
Yeah, we're excited, and we'll be at the game. Ashley and I will be at New York Red Bulls game coming up, so we'll just make sure you guys continue to follow us, because we're going to be bringing you guys a lot of coverage. We get through pretty early for the game. We start to, we get the videos of the players coming onto the pitch.
He gets there much earlier than me. He's better than I am.
Actually, I have beat you as of late as far as getting there, but but yeah, we like to get a lot of really good videos when we get there. It's nice to see Messi and Suarez always walk in together. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool to see that they always get in there together. But
Yeah,
yeah, we're
it's
just
awesome.
excited for this game. It's gonna be a really good game. I'm really excited for this New York Red Bulls game, man. We better teach them who's boss. Like it'll
Agreed.
be
And we will further along in the week do another preview episode for that game, which we said is going to be an incredibly exciting game, hoping we get the opposite of what happened last time and we see another
yeah.
commanding performance from Messi and co. Wow, 50 minutes has flown by. This has been a really great episode. There have been fantastic comments, a lot of, the OGs, a lot of some newcomers as well. No pun intended with someone whose actual username is newcomer, but we see really, really great conversation, great opinions. We're always learning and discussing. It will be very exciting to see who starts if we start to see a couple rotations, not in terms of putting on a B team, but some of the players who have come back from injury, being able to see them continue to get into the starting lineup. This has been awesome. Make sure you are following us on Twitter/X at Messi and Co. Make sure you are following us on YouTube, where I know most of you are watching it. 5 Reason Sports YouTube channel. We go live and we post episodes multiple times a week. We love doing it. This live has been so fun, by the way. We have to keep doing these more and more because it's such a great way to connect with everyone. But yeah, so thank you again for watching this episode of Messi and Co. I am Ashley. That is Gian. That is also Gian's dog that left. That was so cute. We will see you next time on Messi and Co. Bye.
Yeah. See you guys next time. Bye.